Have you ever stopped to think that there is a silent disease that affects millions of people worldwide? It is not a disease that is about medicines or hospitalizations, nor does it entitle to medical certificate. If there was a medicine for her, her creator would probably be billionaire. I am talking about what I call postponed life syndrome, an evil that makes people live constantly in the future, as if real life would just start tomorrow, next week, or a few years from now. Like this. That's when someone repeats to himself, now it's hard, but tomorrow I start. Just a little more and everything will change. When this project is finished, then I will rest. After I raise money, I will allow myself to be happy. When you lose weight, I go to the beach. When you move, life will improve. The years pass 1, 2, 10, and the person wakes up one day, looks in the mirror, and comes across white hair, wrinkles, the less resistant body, and the same promise, life is for later. I've seen dozens of such cases. And do you know what's sadder? It is not the fact that they didn't get everything they wanted. The worst is that they did not really live. I met a man who spent his life saying, I will travel when I retire. He worked nonstop, saved, postponed dreams. When he finally retired, he bought stints for Italy, arranged his bags, and on the eve of the trip, his heart stopped. It was not only Italy he lost, it was the whole life he spent waiting for that moment, never actually living. Another example is a neighbor who lived repeating just a little more work, and then I will have time for the family. The children grew up waiting, the wife too. When he finally looked back, his children already had their own lives and had no more time for him. One day he confessed to me, with a sigh, I wanted to give them all the best, but I ended up not giving the most important, my presence. This is the functioning of the delayed life syndrome. We think the real life is always ahead after the next curve, next month or next year, but it is not enough. Because life is not tomorrow, it is now. There is Jewish wisdom that says something deep. Time is not something we have, we are time. When we postpone life, we are actually postponing ourselves, putting ourselves in the background, as if we said, wait there, I call you when it comes. Only, many times, when we realize it's late. I confess that I already fell into this trap. In youth, I thought, now it's time to work, suffer a little, and then everything will straighten up. I lived in the future. But the future is an illusion. It only exists in our head. The reality is the present. One day, my grandfather, a wise man, told me something that changed my perspective. Son, you're always running after something, thinking that happiness is ahead. But happiness is not tomorrow. It is here. If you do not find it today, you will never find it. These words were recorded in me. In you, have you been thinking just a little more and then I'll start living? You may say, when I finish college, I will be free. When you change jobs, I will take care of my health. When I have money, I'll travel. But the college is over. New responsibilities arise. Employment changes, but problems continue. The money arrives, but with it come new accounts. The truth is that there is no perfect moment. There will never be a day when you wake up with everything resolved, impeccable health, full bank account, zero concerns. Challenges will always exist, but this is no excuse to wait. Life has no draft. You can't live a test version and then say, now, I'll start the right way. We have only one chance. What you do today is your life. So the question you should ask yourself is, I'm living now or just waiting? We'll often think that really living means abandoning everything and going to meditate on Tibet or traveling the world. It may be beautiful in theory, but in practice it is rare to work. Real life is not to escape the obligations, but to know how to be present in what we already have. When I was 25, I also thought, in a year or two, I will start enjoying it. He worked nonstop, refused to invite friends, postponed trips with his family. When I finally had time and money, I realized that many of those friends were no longer around. Some moved, others followed their lives, and the time that could have passed idle with them no longer come back. It was then that I understood life cannot be postponed, because after does not exist. Another case that marked me was that of an acquaintance who dreamed of writing a book. It was brilliant, full of ideas, but I always said, I'll start when you have more time, when everything is perfect. 20 years have passed, and he did not even write a line. The secret? The perfect moment is not enough. We have to create it. There is a Jewish proverb that summarizes this. If not me, then who? If not now, when? Let's go to practical examples. Want to learn a language? Most people say, now you don't. I have work, children, 1,000 things. When you have time, start. But time does not appear alone. The solution? Start today, even with 10 minutes a day. One word at a time. Want to take care of yourself? Do not wait for Monday, next month, or New Year. Start now with a small step. Life is made of daily choices, not great revolutions. The good news is that the syndrome has a cure. and is simpler than it seems. Want to know how? The answer is to understand that life is not an essay, it is the piece itself. And the stage is today. Most people think, in the second hole I start running. When you assemble the perfect power plan, then I will change. But let me say, like someone who has seen dozens of Mondays like this, it doesn't work. The secret is to start now, today. Get out at night and walk at least 20 minutes. Okay, it's already a step. Want to be more present in family life. How many times have I heard, now I'm very busy with work, then I'll have time for the children. But children grow up, time goes by, and suddenly the after becomes a already. I know a man who spent his whole life working to support his family, but hardly talked to her. He made money, yes, but one day he realized, I can give them everything, less return the childhood they lost. So if you want to be closer to those who love, don't wait. Call today, say kind words, go to the park together. They are small gestures, but this is what life has done. And why do we postpone so much? Because we think life is a big event. When I get married, when you buy a house, when you retire, then life will start. But the truth is that life is not the events. It is the little steps we take every day. It's breakfast, the conversation with a friend, a son's hug, the smile of a stranger. If we do not learn to value these things, we will not know how to appreciate the big ones. I once asked an old rabbi, what is the secret of happiness? He smiled and replied, stop waiting for happiness and realize that she is already here. We're just too busy to see her. So here's what I mean. To stop postponing is not to drop everything and leave. It is learning to live today, taking small steps right now. Want to write a book, write a page today. Want to lose weight, go down and stop before the bus. Want to approach your children, say I love you today. It seems simple, but it's hard because our mind pulls us into the future. Not now, then, someday. And I say, someday is the most dangerous word in life because it almost always becomes never. To get out of this cycle, one question is enough. What can I do now? Even small, but today, when you start to live like this, life is no longer a draft and becomes real. And the most amazing, joy does not come tomorrow, not even a year from now. She is already here, because joy is not destiny. It is the way. And I don't say that as a master from top to bottom. I speak as someone who has lived this postponed life syndrome. If I manage to leave, you can, but we need to decide. No tomorrow, not on Monday today. Many people will say, okay, but I have problems. Debts, work, family, health. I don't have time for happiness. Listen, I'm not saying to ignore your responsibilities or smile all the time as if nothing was wrong. I am saying to find life within problems. It works. Find satisfaction in what you do. Do you have family? Value them, even on difficult days. Do you have health? Thank you for being able to breathe, walk, see. Because, friends, happiness is not the absence of problems, it is the ability to live despite them. I met a woman who spent 6 years, almost without leaving home. Her life seemed limited, hard, but she always smiled. One day I asked, where does so much joy come? She replied, I rejoice with each day, because he was given to me. I can see the sky through the window, hear the grandchildren, taste the apple. Isn't that little? At that moment, I understood life is not what we will have later. That's what we have now. The delayed life syndrome is when we say, I'll start later. The medicine is simple. Start now. A small step. No tomorrow, not on Monday today. Want to be happier? Find 3 things you are grateful today. Want to be closer to those who love? Call someone who is missing now. Want changes? Take a step, even minimal. And one more thing, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Many postpone life by thinking, what if it goes wrong? What if I fail? But listen, error is also life. Missing is experience. Nothing serious. The serious thing is not to make mistakes because it means it is not lived. To live for fear of trying is how to cross life with closed eyes and in the end, realize that you have never seen the landscape. True wisdom is not seeing a perfect existence, because it does not exist. It is embracing life with its imperfections, stumbling blocks, and surprises. And this is where the most important advice comes. Stop reading for a moment and now do something concrete for your life. Turn off the screen and step small but real. Write the first line of that book that has lived in your head for years. Get a stop before the bus and walk, feeling the air on the face. Tell those who love that they are important. Buy those flowers that you always admire in floriculture, just because yes. Enroll in that course that postponed for lack of time. You will see, life does not expect the ideal time to change. It changes when you decide that today is the day. Friends, remember, life is a gift, and each day is like a small package that the universe puts in your hands. It is up to you to decide whether to open it curiously or let it accumulate dust on the shelf, waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. Do not guard. Start today. And if this idea has resonated on you, take another step right now. Subscribe to this channel because ahead will come more stories, more reflections, and practical examples to transform theory into action. These videos are not just to watch, they are to live. And believe me, I've seen it as the right words can become a lighthouse on fog days, just as one day they wanted me. So subscribe. Leave your like and count on the comments. What will be your step today? Know tomorrow. Know when things calm down today. Because those who take the first step have already won the battle against the procrastination of life itself. To close, I share the words my father said to me, and then I repeat myself every day. The secret of happiness is to live as if it were your first day and at the same time, as if it were the last. This is all the essence. Thank you for being here, live without postponing. And until the next video,